Good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. How's it going, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Kia. Hello, Laura. Hello, Maureen. Hello, Aaron. I think that's everybody so far. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, I can talk before the stuff comes out. You're not used to being one of the first people on. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Guys, the new episode with Attorney Di just came out. I'm painting and have my iPad right here next to me. There you go. There you go. Cats are using your leg as part of their jungle gym. Yep, cats do that. Cats do that. Guys, it's been a wild morning here. Spoke about you by name in the podcast a couple of times, and I pinned it like 3 times during her last live. Aw, that was very kind. It was a great recording. It was a great recording. So hopefully, hopefully it'll get the amount of views it should. It was awesome and somewhat frightening. Good morning, Tanya. Several asked what the name of the podcast was, so I pinned that by itself too. I appreciate that. So it's been wild seeing how this state is reacting to ICE being around. Not that it's been drastically different than the others, but you can tell that people are taking it almost to another level. Or I'm just not witnessing it. Oh man, folks are protesting like crazy. There's a lot of places that are like keeping an eye on like if any ICE agents are around, and they're like fully barring the doors to make sure no one can get in. There's been a lot, like, this has opened a lot of eyes. My wife said that people at work are like talking about it non-stop now. Then they weren't talking about it really before. Yeah, I heard about both of those. The tires definitely did happen. I heard someone say that it wasn't actually a gun, it was a phone, but I don't know. I heard about it, I didn't see it. She seemed like she had fun on the podcast. Yeah, she did. Interviewed an 18-year-old that got detained. He was born here. When they let him go, they threw all his personal stuff on the ground. Yeah. Yeah. I have a stepdaughter in North Carolina that's changed the entire spectrum. Yeah. There's actually some other stories. I need to contact the person who talked about it to see if there's anything written that I can look at more deeply, or maybe I'll just talk to her about it. Some cities, some like counties are starting to starting to try and get rid of polling places in colleges. So like they're getting rid of the one polling place in colleges, in multiple colleges now in North Carolina. I need to contact her. I saw a video. I saw her. She made a video about it, but I want to see if I can get some more information. She moved to a Hispanic neighborhood and can't stop talking about how wonderful the people are. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Say that again. Counties are starting to try and take away polling places in colleges. Yes, North Carolina is pulling a Texas, Aaron. Yep. North Carolina is trying to do what Texas has already been doing. Yep. When you build community, it makes a big difference in your perception. Yep. That is true. Good morning, Clara. You stop seeing them as brown people on TV stealing your jobs. Yup. It's amazing. They're like human beings. Who'd have thunk it? We have districts split in half, only one polling place, so the lower income area has to go to the higher income area. Yeah. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting that they're allowed to do that. Like, that shouldn't even be allowed. That shouldn't even be allowed. That should be illegal. Welcome back, Laura. Just joking us? No. I think it just joking us works, Kia. You have so much Christmas gifts coming today. Nice. You bought a compass yesterday. Random. Hey, you know, nothing wrong with having a compass. Nothing wrong with having a compass. You never know when it could come in handy. Gonna make some food and get more coffee before the maniacs come in. A hangry Hulk is worse than a regular Hulk. That's true. I needed something that I could make perfectly round stuff. Oh, nice. Good idea. Wish it was a metal one, but alas, I bought what they had. Sometimes that's all you can do. It's only $1.49. There you go. Watch your new video while waiting on the live. Heck yeah. Thank you, Laura. I bought double-sided tape yesterday for the first time ever, looking forward to wrapping season. Adulting is weird. Adulting is weird. There's no argument there. Adulting is absolutely 100% weird. Can confirm. I rarely sleep in this late. I had trouble getting to sleep last night. It was too warm in my office. It was too warm in my office. I was prepping the video for this morning, and I just got really warm. And it took way too long for me to cool down. Feel like I'm 25 in my head. I know that feeling. Hey, Jeremiah. Slept until 8 after getting up to feed the kittens the other day. It felt so weird. Just go outside. Usually I'll open the window for a little bit. I saw a report today that from that RFK Jr. is going to be releasing new dietary suggestions. I forget what the official term is. But basically, he wants to end the war on saturated fat. He thinks that people should have more red meat and butter and eggs and cheese in their diet. For a man who's clearly not well. Truth. Truth. No argument there. Is he going to be buying your groceries? I know, right? Like, it's not even increase vegetables and fruits. It's increase your intake of saturated fat. Aaron's in Texas. Yeah. You can mostly eat what you want. It's just how much of it you eat and making sure it's balanced. Yep. And unfortunately, the stuff that tends to be worse in terms of keeping things like your weight down tend to be the cheaper things that most people can afford. Did you see that Trump and Vance were not invited to Cheney's funeral? Yep. And all the other living presidents were? Yep. Yeah. Couldn't have happened to better people. How you doing, Philip? Just eat lots of chicken, fish, green vegetables, and stay away from processed foods as much as possible. Processed foods are the things that a lot of people can afford. That's part of the problem. When you don't pay people enough, they get what they can afford. The House voted down the bill that allowed them to sue the government. You mean voted down the amendment to the bill that would have stopped it? Because they would have had to, or they voted to not allow them to sue the government. What? Because that was an amendment to the continuing resolution or something like that. It was an amendment. I understand that. I understand what part you're talking about, but when you say they voted it down, you mean the House voted to get rid of it? Hey, Kiva. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Gotcha. Well, it's still got to get passed by the Senate. And then it's got to be signed by the president, who loves to sue people, even the federal government. Got to get more coffee. Be right back. All right. At least the House voted on something for a change. That's true. That's true. It would definitely look bad for them if they if the Senate didn't vote to get rid of that. It would look very bad for them. Well, they haven't voted it out yet. It's still there. It's got to go through the Senate too, I would assume, unless the Senate started the change. How do their constituents not see that they only care about themselves? Easy. Unfortunately. Very, very easy. Called head in the sand. It was House led. Okay. So that means the Senate still needs to vote on it. Well, hopefully they will. What was looking? Oh, right. Yeah, she's spooky. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. No, no. Charlotte is definitely taking it up a notch. Charlotte is definitely taking it up a notch. Texas National Guard is being pulled from Chicago and Portland, being sent home. Yeah, because they did nothing. We spent literally millions of dollars on having them be there, and they did nothing. Aw, thanks, Angel. Appreciate that. Still seeing them all over social. Yep. Yeah, they're still doing stuff. They're just not having a good time of it around here. I feel like a lot of people here were paying attention to what was going on in Portland and Chicago and said, okay, we need to prepare. So a lot of businesses just closed down. A lot of nonprofits have people that are literally watching, and if they see ICE agents, they were just barring the doors. Like, I know of at least one grocery store that was offering free delivery for people, so they didn't have to leave their house during this time. So it's been much different, a much different experience for them, which I'm all about. Get out of our city. Get the heck out of our city. I had to take an allergy pill already this morning. I was hiving my face from loving on Zoe. So if I get quiet, I probably got drool on my mouth. You're good. Lots of business didn't open or had no business. Yeah, thousands of kids weren't at school. Yeah, local school, at least around here, they said that if it looked like there were too many agents near schools, they would just do distance learning full. They would just shut the schools down. I wouldn't send my kids to school either. Yep, it's a catch-22 for sure. The amount of lawsuits that are going to be going against this administration because of HHS is going to be wild. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, Angel. Trump already approved CIA covert ops in Venezuela. Oh yeah, I mean, again, he is trying to be a king, and as a king, your orders are followed no matter what. So he's trying to just push that idea. Thank you. Hey, Garpu. Good morning, Polly. How are you? I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Aw. Ya ma'am. Goodbye. You guys do realize that those files will never be released? I disagree with you, Laura. At least at this point, I do. In the end, we'll find out. Hey, Liz. I mean, they have a month to release them, so... But what has been redacted? That is definitely one of the unknowns. Well, Laura, that's why Massey has said that if they redact too much of it, he will go on the floor and read the names himself on the floor. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Carrie. I'm having a good morning. Yeah, just released a new episode that I think is insanely good. If you know Attorney Di, I interviewed Attorney Di, and it's a 2-part series. So you should definitely go check it out. But yes, Liv, it's definitely one of the unknowns is how much will get redacted. We'll see. You did finally make it here. Sure, new information has come out. Of course. Of course it has. Of course new information has come out. Thank you, guys. They have had the files for so long, they are doctored now. We'll see. We'll see. It's not like we won't know right away. Hey, man from the West. We all knew he was gonna pull this. Yeah. Yeah. Aw, bye, Ryan. It's nice to know that you have no humanity or empathy. You're just a... Information is brought to light. I mean, new information. I mean, did I forget to mention the new information? Yeah, Lisa. Have I seen any specifically around my area? I have not. Man from the West. I have seen video of them in places that I go quite regularly, but I have not seen them myself. Which is surprising. But we also only have one car, so I don't get driving. Like, I don't drive around a whole heck of a lot now. I mostly walk. So how many American citizens have to before you think there's a problem? Who? Before who thinks there's a problem? And what's the problem that you think exists? What's up, Scott? I saw videos a few blocks from where you grew up in your grandparents' subdivision. Not my area, man, from the West. Not my area. They're getting a southern welcome over here. And it's not been the best time for them. And my simple question is a clarifying question. What do you think the problem that those Americans losing their life is I'm supposed to admit to? What is the problem? Just a general problem? Anybody losing their life is a problem. Is that what you want to hear? I'm like, what do you think is the problem? How are these Americans losing their life that you think is a problem? Do you understand how a conversation works? I'm asking for clarification. I want to make sure I'm answering the question that you're asking. If I don't understand the question you're asking, then I can't answer it. I heard NC was... I mean, Mike, he's in the South. They're in the South now. You did make it to the tube, Lewis. I'm proud of you, buddy. I'm proud of you. Oh, the cat's over on the tube. Oh, yeah, AJ. Same. Same. Good morning. What's up, Ghost? Trying to warn people. Good morning. I'm just going to assume you're dodging the question. I am asking you a clarifying question that I need before I can answer. If you're answering that clarifying question and it's getting filtered, I apologize. I have no control over that. But if I don't get a clarification, then I am not going to answer it. What's up, Captain? How you doing, Beth? Seriously, Pam. Oh, people often expect me to be a mind reader. It's kind of wild. Kind of wild, Liz. Nothing, just enjoying the last few days of fall. Heck yeah. On vacation this week? Heck yeah, Christy. Hope you're enjoying your vacation. I love hearing about Charlotte. Yeah. Charlotte prepped. Charlotte prepped. They knew it was coming and they prepped. And they're not accepting. Guys, if you're over on TikTok, please tap that nose. It pushes this out to other people. That's part of the, or unless y'all want to go over to the tube, I'd be happy with that too. But if you're on TikTok, please tap that nose. Chasing of them into the woods thing had you rolling. Yeah. 7 more days till I'm at AT&T Stadium for the Cowboys game for Thanksgiving. Heck yeah. Flying to Chicago today, going to the Notre Dame game on Saturday. Nice. That's awesome, guys. I hope people get to have some fun. Not sure fun is the right word, but do something enjoyable for some of the time, you know? I need a tinfoil hat to read minds. There are people that believe that. Maybe if you paid attention, you see I've clarified it 3 times. Angelus, I'm telling you that I'm not seeing it, which means that this app is filtering it. So, I don't know what to tell you. I can't control what this app filters. You are using something that the AI is against. Yeah, guys, don't forget. I think it's the 27th through the 2nd. Yeah, I get filtered a lot. I'll say just hello, and somehow that will get filtered. Found the cute. If you're going to buy things, buy them from small businesses. Help small businesses. Buy less, but support a small business. If you're going to buy. It's blackout. I forget what they're specifically calling it. Basically, you're not buying from any of the big stores. I forget what it's officially called. Blackout the system. Thank you. Thank you, Ursame. Another reason to move to the tube. No filtering. Yep, it's true. It's true. I mean, I hope that we all spend just a lot less in general. I read there was some commerce group said that we're going to spend 4% more than we did last holiday season. And I don't want that to be true. I want us to spend so much less. I like being in the tube. It's cool. You could be in the tube too. Major grocery stores laying off 160,000 over the next 2 months, all over the news. We got to stop being such a disposable throwaway nation. That is true. Or we just have to be better with what we end up getting. But yes, I agree. We too often get things that we don't use. It's kind of hard to do when you have kids to get gifts for. Not many small businesses have gifts that a 4-year-old would want. There are some out there, but yes, it's definitely harder. I agree, Philip. It's harder for sure. But in the same respect, 4-year-olds don't need a lot. You've been buying on Etsy? Submission. Driving and listening. I appreciate you, brother. Holding up, ready for work week to end. I feel that, Shane. Or I should say my wife feels that. My work week never ends. DIY gifts are heartwarming too. Yep, that's what I'm doing. My daughter's making me a gift. She paints shoes. Actually, might be starting an Etsy for it, if you haven't seen it. Do I have it here? I might be able to show you guys. Let me see if I have the picture here. I do. All right, hold on. I gotta do it in 2 phases. So I'll put it up on the tube first, and then I'll put it up on the talk. Whoa. Ha! Hold on. That was a huge picture. So she made those. All right, let me put it up over here. It's going to be huge for a second. So just be ready. But yeah, we're probably going to end up making an Etsy for her. All right. Near. So, I know a guy who could give her tips on getting a business like that going. I'll pay her to do a pair for Robbie. He would love them. There you go. She is insanely talented. She's insanely talented. She made a pair of Harry Potter ones for her grandmother. Make sure. Oh yeah, turnaround time would definitely be part of it. Yep. Good morning. Flying back home from back home to Atlanta today. I'll have a safe trip. Yeah, she did a really good job. She is insanely talented. How old is she? She's 18. She made these though when she was, gosh, 15? 14, 15? Somewhere around there. She made these ones a few years ago. It may have been like 2 years ago, so maybe 16 when she made them. What does she charge? That's a good question. They, depending on what you want on them, they can take a while to do. But let's make a deal. How much for a pair? That's something we need to figure out for sure. Hasn't got a new chair and my grandson turned it into a fort. Heck yeah. Yeah, she's really good. Spooky, that I think around 200 was was about what we were thinking, just because of how much it takes. So yeah, I think it was somewhere in the 2 to 250 range. Because like I said, she was working on it for like weeks. Now, she wasn't putting like tons and like she wasn't putting 8 hours a day on it each time, but it's a lot of work. Worth it? I think so. You would definitely only wear them in certain situations, but you wouldn't just wear them just randomly walking around. But I'll definitely wear mine. Oh, of course, Sarah. Her custom hoodie took a year to get and worth it. Yeah. The pair that she made for the grandparents were about, I think were about 300, because that one was really complicated. Like there was a lot of intricacy into it. So we'll have to see. Like I said, we're figuring out. Worth every dime. I'm telling you, I'd get them for him. When we get something together, Lewis, I'll make sure that you get a link to it. Because she'd love to put you on the list. You got it. Which she would do anything. Ash. She would do anything. She can do anything. Like I said, she did Harry Potter. She did these. Yeah, she can easily. And I am scared of the mayor of Charlotte right now. Why are you scared of the mayor of Charlotte? Or are you scared for the mayor? I wish my son could wear shoes. People are criticizing him for some reason. I mean, people criticize elected officials all the time, but Charlotte mayor expresses concern support for community amid immigration operation. Hey, Jilly. It's too loud. I don't like this one. I mean, the fact is there's nothing I absolutely need anyways. And if there's something I need, and I can afford it, I get it. He's in a wheelchair. He has to wear braces on his feet and ankle to stop him from having contractions. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. For custom work, I'd wait a long time and tell her not to rush. She wouldn't rush. She would, she's definitely very much about doing a good job. Good job. Guys, if you're over on the, on TikTok, please tap that nose. Numbers are really small, and it's mostly because they like the stupid engagement. I'm in North Carolina. By the way, good morning, Shell. Sorry, I missed saying hi. Hey, Silver. I'm in North Carolina. Yep. By the way, guys, a really amazing episode just came out. If you know Attorney Di, I sat down with her and we compared the grievances of the Declaration of Independence to what's going on right now. It was a really interesting conversation. So part 1 came out today. You should check it out. I'm in Charlotte, Trucker. In fact, there's a lot of good ones, Lewis. There's a lot of good ones. Good morning. Have you ever seen dump trucks with blue Max on the side? I don't know. I don't know. Possibly. I can't remember. I've never paid that much attention to dump trucks. I'm going to be straight. That's who you retired from? Got it. Love your mayor. I wish Pennsylvania had a better mayor. Back again. Welcome back. we have Larry. You know. All right, community people can come up if you want. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well.
That's good.
I was working extremely hard and fast to get today's episode out. I had that period where I was interviewing tons and tons of people. Well, it has definitely slowed down. So luckily this one's a two-parter, which means I get 2 episodes out of it. So that's good.
Oh, good. Good. I hope you enjoy it. I talked before, I think you should keep an eye on it. Happens very, very, very rarely, but I expect this judge to chuck the Comey case.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have ever seen prosecutorial misconduct of this degree. Everything from violating attorney-client privilege to telling the grand jury that Comey had no Fifth Amendment protections, which is rather unique considering the Constitution says that he does, for lying about what the bill of indictment was about.
Hey, stop. Real quick. Would you mind? Because I've been hearing about it, but I'm missing a lot, whatever's going on, exactly what's going on with the misconduct. Would you mind doing a quick breakdown?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll start over. She, I mean, it's fucking hilarious if it wasn't so earth-shattering. She told the grand jury that Comey has no Fifth Amendment rights, which is, I don't even know where to begin with that. You don't even need to be a lawyer to know that people have rights under the Fifth Amendment. She told the grand jury that we have a lot more evidence that we're going to present at trial. Wrong. A grand jury can only rule on the evidence presented to it. They presented evidence that was taken in 2019 from Comey's own attorney in another case and presented it to this grand jury. Now, a warrant is issued under very, very tight and specific terms. It can only be used in the case which you are presenting. The sham case Trump tried to bring in 2019, no charges were ever brought because the case was laughable, did involve a warrant with a Harvard law professor who happens to be Comey's personal attorney as well. She used that here. Here. It's mind-boggling. She then misrepresented what the bill of indictment was because the grand jury didn't even indict on one of the charges.
Yep.
I've just never seen anything like this. Every single aspect of what she did is unconstitutional and illegal. She's got all her bases covered.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine a fifth grader doing this, let alone an attorney.
Yeah.
And I've even forgotten some of the things she did. I mean, it was one thing after another. The whole thing was a joke. Very, very rarely do judges throw out a case before it even gets into a courtroom. That's almost unheard of, especially when it's the DOJ. I think this will be an exception. I would be very surprised if they don't throw this out, and I'd be even more surprised if there are not sanctions against this attorney.
Is this part? Everything costs us money, Kiva. Yes. I mean, we're paying the U.S. attorney. We're paying all the people that work for the U.S. attorney.
Oh, and I can assure you they will be paying for Mr. Comey's legal fees as well.
Oh, yeah.
When this is thrown out, the government will have to pay Mr. Comey's legal fees. And then Mr. Comey will have a wonderful case of malicious prosecution. So that's coming up too. You know, we talked yesterday a lot about incompetence. This is example number one. But wait, there's more. What about the Texas gerrymandering case that just got thrown out? Bye-bye, Texas gerrymander. You know, you in gerrymandering, you can go to a court when it's challenged and say, hey, look, we gerrymandered because we hate Democrats. That's why we gerrymandered. You're allowed to do that now. You can gerrymander for purely political reasons. I know it sounds crazy, but the Supreme Court said you can do it. You can gerrymander for that reason. There's only one way that you can get a gerrymander thrown out, and that's the way, that's what the DOJ put in their brief to the Texas court, backing up the state of Texas. They put in their brief that we're doing it for racial reasons. That's the only way you can't gerrymander. And they actually put it in their brief. The state of Texas, with their ally, the Department of Justice, this is what the state of Texas called it. They called it a misrepresentation by the DOJ, sloppy work by the DOJ, and they called it a mess. They called this is Ken Paxton actually called his supporting partner, the DOJ, in the gerrymander case. He called what they gave the court a mess. This is Trump's DOJ. This is our DOJ. This is Pam Bondi.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that, Scott. I appreciate it. Because I've been hearing it, and I think Di did a live on it. But I was like...
Di must have been pulling out her hair like I was. I've just never seen anything like this. I've never dreamed of anything like this.
You know, Scott, I will tell you, I wish she was here right now, because I would love to tell her too. Like, from when I first started watching Di to like now, like I've gotten to see the progression, especially because, you know, when she first started, it was just, you know, there was hardly any political talk or whatever, what have you. It was all just, you know, she was trying to be, you know, the Supreme Court's not, you know, the DOJ's not, all this stuff. And I've watched the progression, and it's been sad to see, because she's somebody who truly loves the law and the Constitution and all that it's supposed to stand for. And it's been really, really sad to see.
We talk about it, that, Scott, a little bit in the video. I forget if it's part 1 or part 2, but we talk about the fact that for lawyers, this whole situation that's going on with like Comey and everything else is just, lawyers are going just crazy at how ridiculous it all is.
It's crazy is the only adjective I can think of. I cannot emphasize enough how I have never seen anything like this. No, oh, you're just against Trump. No, I've never seen misconduct like this. I've never seen incompetence like this. It makes what Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani did in 2020 look like the best out of F. Lee Bailey. I mean, it makes them look like William Jennings Bryan. It makes them, you know, look like Clarence Darrow, the greatest lawyers in the world. This is unbelievably incompetent, and not just for a lawyer. Like I said, a marginally intelligent sophomore in high school who has no legal training at all wouldn't go in front of a grand jury and say, yeah, well, Comey has no Fifth Amendment rights. Huh?
I mean, these are the same people that think that that everyone doesn't get due process and all these other stupid things. So it really, unfortunately, I understand the surprise, because you hear it and you're just like, what planet are we living on? But in the same respect, this has been the MO of this administration since day one, is incompetence.
Look, it's settled law. You can gerrymander all you want. The Supreme Court took the case and said, we are not going to. Now I'm talking about the Texas gerrymander case, which involved the DOJ, which, by the way, I didn't know. I thought that was just Texas handling it on her own. And Texas wishes the DOJ had never opened up their fucking mouths, because whoever wrote that legal brief, whoever is that mind-numbingly stupid, picked the only thing possible that could get the gerrymander thrown out. You can gerrymander all you want. Nobody's ever going to throw it out. Any state can gerrymander now. The Supreme Court allows you to gerrymander to your heart's content, except for one instance. You can't gerrymander for racial purposes, and the DOJ not only did it, they put it in their brief. This is why we're doing it. This is the Department of Justice. Did anybody actually go to law school when they were at law school in that department? Anybody? How could that happen?
You know, Scott, I've always said titles don't matter. Titles don't mean a fucking thing if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Kia, you could have had, let's say you go out this afternoon and fill up your car. You could have had the guy who's filling your gas do a better job than this. Okay? Who's the guy who's pumping your gas. This is, you just pull your hair out. You just look at this and say, you've got to be kidding me. This isn't just incompetence. Incompetence is not even a word that could cover what this is.
I wonder if it's possible they put that. That is an interesting thought, and while I think it's incompetence, I can understand why people are thinking about it. There are people that are wondering, what if they realized that that vote that they thought was going to support them in Texas is no longer going to support them, so they realize that it potentially could hurt them more than it would help them by diluting other districts.
Yeah, but that's
trying
to get a conspiracy inside of a conspiracy. And don't forget, these legal briefs were written before the election when it became obvious that the Texas gerrymander is a complete zero.
That's true.
Yeah, so these legal briefs were written back when they thought it was such a great idea to gerrymander those 5 southern districts in Texas. Now they realize that they probably, in reality, this case getting thrown out, if I were Texas, I wouldn't bother appealing, because this may be the best thing that could happen to them. As you pointed out a couple of times, Mike, Texas may end up losing seats because of this gerrymander, let alone getting the 5 seats thereafter. They ain't getting those 5 seats, even if the gerrymander gets put back in, because it's relying completely on a viewing of the Hispanic vote that does not exist anymore.
Yeah,
they're counting on 2024 numbers out of the Latino community, and they ain't gonna get them.
And you're right, Silver. They weren't hired for their courtroom skills. They were hired for their loyalty. That is all this administration cares about, is loyalty. They do not care about competence. And I mean, that's blatantly obvious. Look who's running the, HHS and is now going to rewrite our, the dietary guidelines that's to say that we should eat more saturated fat. He needs to end the war on saturated fat. And we should eat more.
Well, that's good. That'll make McDonald's French fries taste good again.
Well, no, I mean, saying that we need to eat more red meat in our diet and we need to eat more cheese and butter. We need to eat more butter. We're not having enough butter in our diet. We're having too many seed oils and not enough butter.
Okay. I'm game. Just don't tell my doctor.
I was about to say, the doctors aren't game.
Nah, I lie to my dad. You don't do any of that vaping. Nah, I don't do that.
Yeah. Butter is not good for you in large quantities, just like red meat is not good for you in large quantities, just like anything that's high in saturated fat is not good for you in large quantities.
Well, Mike, you got to expire something, so you might as well go out happy.
The fact is he is talking about increasing what is considered an acceptable quantity. How about the DOE reclassifying professions for nursing and other fields as non-professions.
Yes. So I heard somebody break that down last night. So yes, they're reclass. So it's going to be for the loan side of it.
Oh,
They're mostly careers that are held by women, nurses, teachers, different things like that. Uh, so they're reclassifying it so that way, with it not being considered a profession, that is going to change what kind of loans they are going to be able to get. So one number I saw was it take it down from them getting possible 50,000 down to 20,000.
because you know that's exactly what we need is less nurses in this country.
And the other point that the gosh, I can't remember her name. She was on GT's live last night. The other point that she made is not only are these professions tend to be predominantly held by women, they're also pretty highly held by women that are immigrants as well. And it's like so blatant. The sexism and the racism is just gross.
So we're discouraging nurses. How does help anyone? None of what this administration is doing helps anyone. Literally none, unless you were super wealthy. If you're super wealthy, you're doing okay right now. Past that, no one is getting helped by anything this administration is doing.
You know, what Kia just described on the nursing thing, what we were just talking about with the DOJ doing something that is, I don't know, bizarre. Let's use the adjective bizarre, because I have no words to describe how bad that was, and I'm sure Di would agree with that. It all fits a pattern. There is a reason they just got beaten a landslide 2 weeks ago. There is a reason that the numbers were totally unexpected that they got beat by. And I've got some more numbers, and I'll be brief if you want to hear them.
Love to.
I have
You give
been
numbers,
waiting.
I'm going to get coffee.
I have been waiting for the numbers to come out post-election and post-shutdown on the generic ballot. What's the generic ballot? That's the most accurate predictor of who's going to win the midterms. It has historically been very, very accurate. Now, the latest generic ballot, the only one to come out post-election, has the Democrats plus 14. That is the largest number favoring either party in 52 years. You have to go back to right after Watergate. The Republicans were down 16, which was understandable. Nixon just got booted out of office. It's now 14. To put this in perspective, if the generic ballot comes in at 5, that means 5 points more Democratic vote than Republican vote. The House will break down about 230 to 205 Democrats win. If it is 7.5, it would be 238 Democrats to 197 Republicans. At 14, if that sticks, which I don't think it will, it's a historically high number, it would be 263 to 172. Oh, and by the way, the Senate, if it was ever a 14-point Democratic margin in the midterms, the Democrats would hold Michigan, hold Georgia, and they would win, flip Maine, North Carolina, Ohio, Iowa, Nebraska, Alaska, and yes, Texas. And they would be up 54 to 46 in the Senate. Now, I'm not saying it's 14. That number sounds high to me. But Jesus Christ, the floor is dropping out from the Republican Party at a pace that is so rapid. I've never seen it in 50 years of looking at data like this.
What? Excuse my language, but what the fuck did they think was going to happen when you've got people with little mini computers walking around in their hands every day recording what the cubes are out here doing to folks? You know what I mean? Like earlier on the tube when we were chatting before we went live here, And just a plug, if you guys didn't know, he comes on about 30 minutes earlier on the tube, where we just chill and chat for a good 30 minutes before he starts streaming here. But one of the things, like I was talking about, so they're in Raleigh right now, right? And WRAL interviewed this young man. He was 18 years old. He was stopped along with some other people, a couple other guys. They showed on the camera, you can see them fucking assholes throwing his shit all over the ground, like in like the pine straw and stuff. Like they just scatter his stuff. He said he lost two of his IDs that he had, and then he lost like one of his AirPods. But the way, what do they think when they're grabbing people and they're screaming? They're going into these courthouses. You don't think that people are talking like, hey, when we're going to court and quote unquote trying to do it the legal way, and here these motherfuckers are just coming in here, snatching us up and sending us all over. I mean, every time I hear all these different countries they want to send these people to, this shit is insane.
Absolutely. That's a huge issue. But by far the biggest issue that's moving the polling and moved the elections to landslide territory, not just in New Jersey, not just in Virginia, but in Georgia, in Mississippi, in Pennsylvania, in California, were all not just victories, but landslide victories, way into the double digits, way into the double digits. You just don't see that in this century with elections under anybody. The
And
number one thing moving it is affordability and healthcare.
and
Promises were made and promises were broken.
I was talking this morning about Hannah. I don't remember if anyone watched the North Carolina episode that I did. She posted a video today or last night, I forget which, talking about how two different counties are removing the one polling place in multiple different colleges. So they know where the votes are coming from. And they are trying to do what Texas has been doing for a while now, which is making it much harder for young people to vote.
Yeah. Gen Z moved 37 points on Tuesday, blue. The Latino vote moved 37 points. Of more importance to the Republicans, instead of winning the rural vote 3-1, like they're used to winning, they split it in Virginia. They split the rural vote. Instead of winning the working class vote, non-college educated vote, the terms are interchangeable, which they won 2-1 a year ago, they split it 50-50. The Republican base is cracking. And why? Well, because 2 out of every 3 people who get subsidies on the ACA are Republicans. The top 10 states that get the ACA subsidies are all red states. 30% of Republican states' populations are on Medicaid. And then, of course, there's the SNAP benefits thing. All this came starting November 1st. People found out it's now in the top of their minds, and especially among farmers and ranchers and the rest of Americans because of inflation, but farmers and ranchers are absolutely being destroyed by the tariffs.
Yep.
These are people who are registered Republicans. They're the ones in the red hats. They're the ones driving the Ford 150s, and plenty of them, millions of them, went to the polls, probably didn't tell their neighbors about it, but they voted blue.
Yep. And Silver, I agree. I predict, I don't know what it's going to end up looking like, but I would definitely agree that within the next 25 years, you are going to see a massive shift in what this country looks like. Just how it is run, whether we're talking a new constitution or amendments or what. I'm not sure exactly what it'll end up looking like, but it is going to be a massive shift.
In the election of 1972, Richard Nixon won 49 of the 50 states, the biggest landslide in American history. 2 years later, he had to resign in disgrace. 10 years after that, 1984, a poll was done. Less than 20% of the people ever admitted voting for Richard Nixon, even though we know that well over 60% of the people voted for Richard Nixon. The same thing's going to happen here. 10 years from now, 4 years from now, MAGA won't even be around. It'll be like the Tea Party. It'll be gone. 10 years from now, you'll have a better chance of finding a unicorn than anybody who admitted they voted for Donald Trump.
Yep. And by the way, just so everyone, whether here or on the tube, anyone here knows, I go live on the tube at the same time. If you've never tried being over there, you should. It's a lot better. You don't have to worry about stuff getting filtered. If you were here in the beginning, someone was saying something and I was trying to get clarification. And according to them, they wrote it 3 times and their clarification got filtered each one of the times. So if you want to have a better conversation, you should hang over there specifically because this app is being weird about stuff like that. Also, I put new episodes out twice a week. And the one I just put out today is going to be amazing. If you know Attorney Di, she is awesome. And we compared the 27 reasons that the leaders of the 13 colonies used in the Declaration of Independence to what's going on now. So we went through them one by one. It's going to be a 2-part episode. So I thought it was yes, it's on the tube. Yes. Yep. I know that I had read them, like going into this conversation, I had read them and been thinking about them. And in the end, I was still surprised going through this process. In some ways, how much more alignment there was than I even realized. Obviously, it's not perfect. It's a different situation, but it was surprising how much of an alignment there was. J-Ro, we're not talking about Obama. Obama's not president.
Don't even respond.
Jeez.
Hey, by the way, J-Ro is one of the 3 people left being in MAGA, I guess.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's talk about Charlotte. They have arrested over. They had detained over 200 people, 300 people, whatever it is, in the first week, in the weekend that they were in the first few days they were here. All but 44 of them got released. So they destroyed property, hurt people, illegally detained, i.e. Fourth Amendment, right? That's illegal search and seizure. Can never remember if it's 4th or 5th. I think it's 4th. Hundreds of people, and of that, only 44 of them actually had anything, at least in their whatever their mind is on what makes someone legally acceptable to detain. Nobody wants to work. What planet are you on? Everyone wants to work.
Look, due process, whether it's under the 15th or 4th Amendment, due process is important. It's in the Constitution, folks, and they haven't been paying attention to it, and they're paying the price. And this all goes back to the point Kia made. What did they think was going to happen? They cut programs, the social safety net for their own voters to give tax cuts to billionaires. They tear down the East Wing, which is a small thing, but it's a visual thing that everybody could see. They have these jackbooted thugs, these Proud Boys wearing masks, becoming ICE agents and going into America's cities. What did they think was going to happen at the polls? What did they think was going to happen? How dumb could they be? Taking away Medicaid from their own voters and the rest of us too. Raising prices, according to the Kaiser Foundation, in between 125 and 150% next year for the Affordable Care Act, when their own voters make up 2/3 of those people getting those subsidies. Again, what Kia said, what did they think was going to happen?
And what's almost a step worse is their idea to fix it, which at least one of the, I think it's a congressman, I forget if it's a congressman or senator, the idea to fix it is to just give people the money that they would be quote unquote paying the insurance companies so they can get their own insurance. And it's like, who do you think you'd be giving that money to? You're still giving the money to insurance companies because they need freaking insurance.
Well, not only that, Mike, young people would just pocket the money, then pay out of pocket, and it would crash all the insurance companies anyway, because they would be having to pay out tons of money just to take care of older, sicker people. It's an unworkable program. It's not the first time people have thought of this. This is not a new idea that's coming up.
Yeah.
And it was loudly debunked. The Congressional Budget Office told them 10 years ago that when they first came up with this idea, it won't work.
Yep. Donald?
Aren't they saying they're only wanting to do like $2,000 when a lot of people's shit is going to be $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for the year, $12,000 for the year? What is $2,000 going to do?
Well, and it's not like, so we as a family, we pay $6,000 a year for our health insurance. That's not even all that gets paid. My wife's company subsidizes that health insurance. They pay way more than we pay so we can get health insurance. I don't think, like, these are the things people don't seem to understand, is that it's not. And if I go and I just try and negotiate with a health insurance company for health insurance, it's going to cost insanely more.
If you get rid of the subsidies for younger people, you are left with a health marketplace that has nothing but old and sick people. That is not workable. That program would never, ever work. And the $2,000 that Trump is talking about, the tariff rebate, is pretty interesting because as of last week, the government has collected $90 billion in tariff money, which, by the way, is a tax on the American people. So they've collected 90 billion extra tax dollars from us, and the cost of that $2,000 check would be $600 billion. So where's the rest of the money going to come from, Donald? Where's it going to come from?
Not to mention the fact that they actually don't actually have the money anyways. I've already spent it all. Everyone needs to understand it. We are running a deficit this year. We are running a deficit. We're going to run a deficit next year. We're going to run a deficit every year of this administration. We're probably going to run a deficit for a while, no matter what, because at this point we can't just flip a switch and fix the problems that we have going on. But there is not a bank account where 90 billion tariff dollars are sitting, or even 190, which is some other numbers they're giving out. There's not a bank account with that. It's all been spent. So what's going to end up happening is it is going to just be added on to our deficit.
Due to the size of this deficit and interest rates, we will spend this year for the first time $1 trillion in interest on our debt. We get nothing for that. We will spend $1 trillion in interest. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, 10 years from now, even if we don't add any more debt, and we're adding debt every single day, we would spend $2.5 trillion on interest alone. That's almost 3 times the size of the defense budget.
I wanted to mention something before, Melody. Donald Trump calls for the arrest of Democratic lawmakers who made a video urging military members to follow their orders and reject illegal orders. Melody, he has called for the arrest of a lot of people. He has called for the arrest of a lot of people. That's not that surprising, unfortunately.
By the way, under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, a soldier has no option but to not follow illegal orders.
Correct.
You are taught that you do not follow illegal orders. That is part of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Yep. It's like your grandparents handing you $5 and saying, buy yourself something nice. Yeah. I mean, again, $2,000 isn't going to fix the problems for people. It's not going to fix the thousands, the tens of thousands of small businesses that have shut down because of these tariffs. They're not going to, they're not getting their money back. The $2,000 they may get from if they did a tariff refund check is not going to help them start that business back up, because a lot of those companies had to spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in tariff bills. And that's why they shut down. It's just, that's not true. What's not true? Can't wait to hear what's not true. Just can't wait. Oh, economist. I'm asking for proof. Yours didn't show up, so I don't know what you're talking about, but proof of what? That small businesses have shut down? It's literally been in the news, reported how many small businesses have shut down because of it.
Don't bother going down the rabbit hole, Mike.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I say it once and then I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, it's atrocious what's happening to small businesses. There's no new hiring going on. They're afraid. That's why I tend to think that to save the Republican Party from themselves, that's why I think the Supreme Court will throw out Trump's tariffs. I believe they will rule against it, and I believe they will break precedent, and they will rule very shortly against it. They won't wait until next June. And the reason being is once they throw out the tariffs, the economy might start to do better, and they want to give it time to help the Republicans in the midterms. It's going to be too little too late.
Jonathan, I'm going to say this once, and this is the last time I'm talking about it. I don't specifically watch any news station. I watch all news stations. I watch them all to some degree. I'm talking about the actual people who own small businesses that have reported that they have had to shut down because of the tariffs. I'm not talking about a news anchor talking about it. I'm talking about the people. Grow up. Stop acting like a 5-year-old. Please.
That sort of goes to what Kia was saying too. What did they think was going to happen? Do we know anybody? And I'm asking chat this. And honest answer, nobody will jump on you. I promise, nobody will jump on you. Does anybody support the tariffs? Does anybody think these tariffs are a good idea? Anybody? Anybody? You can just type yes. You don't even have to explain why. Do you think the tariffs are a good idea? I don't think there's anybody who thinks they're a good idea.
Inflation is not stable. Inflation has gone up almost 1% in the last 10 months, 9 months. Inflation is not stable. It has gone up. It has gone up so much that he has actually removed tariffs from certain things, because even he has been forced to admit that these tariffs have caused prices of things to go up 0.7%. Yeah, that's still up. How much does it need to go up to be going for you to admit that it's going up? It has gone up consistently since March.
And 0.7% is about 28%, about a 28% climb since he took office. Yes, from 2.3 to 3.0.
I don't think they understand, even if it's point something. If it's a positive number, it's going up.
Inflation reached 9%. Oh my gosh.
Go away.
That was coming out of the pandemic. You know what? Now you're just being disingenuous. Really, you're being disingenuous.
Yeah, and it reached 9% thanks to the choices that this current president made and messed up during his first term. Like, come on, dude. He literally blew the response to a worldwide pandemic, and the new administration had to come and clean it up and brought it down from a high of 9% to 2.3% in just a few years, because it wasn't 9% right away.
They don't get that part. They stop at the 9% and then they don't say anything else. It's like, well, the fuck? Did you think that? How do you think it was 3% when he took over? Like, what happened in that time in between? That's a hell of a lot. You know what I mean? Like, when you're having a Monday morning quarterback, we're constantly having to clean up their problems.
And by the way, the reason it's only 3% is some major corporations have eaten some of the tariff revenue and haven't passed it on. And starting about next month, they will no longer be able to eat it. They will have to pass it on, which will cause inflation to spike even more.
And I'm going to say this because we've seen it before, and I would not be surprised if we see it again. It's great that he's dumping the tariffs on certain goods. But we need to understand that all of these companies that buy those things regularly, that import those things regularly, that are going to benefit from not having the tariff anymore, lost a lot of money over the last 7 months, whatever it is. Some of them have been eating the cost. If they have been eating any of the cost, whether it's because they ate some of the cost or there was a decrease in purchasing because of the increased cost, they're going to want to make their money back, which means there is a very good chance that prices are not going to go down. Or if they are going to go down, if there was a 20% tariff, you might see, and they increase the price by 20%, they might only drop it 10% so they can make some of their money back.
And Mike, that also goes back to your point earlier. Small businesses, because they don't have the ability to warehouse products, they had to pass on those costs, and a lot of them have gone out of business because they could no longer compete with big box stores. So they had to go out of business because of these tariffs. And then you take a look at the farmers who, because of these tariffs, have lost their markets. China doesn't have to buy their soybeans from the United States, you know. They can get them from Brazil and Argentina anytime they want, and they have.
Please, they passed it on to the consumer. You're right. In most cases, they did. Some did eat some of the cost, at least short term. Because, again, if you're a big company and you're making a lot of money, you can eat some of the cost for a little while, especially if there's a hope, if you have a hope that the tariffs will go away.
Yeah, a lot of the major companies like Target or Home Depot or Walmart, they knew the tariffs were coming. They made massive purchases and they stored it. But those stores are dwindling now, and supposedly at least according to what Walmart actually said and what Target actually said, in early December, they won't have any more of that inventory left, and they're going to have to pass on the cost to the consumer. I mean, they're not in business to lose money.
If we made stuff in this country, then sure, tariffs would work to a certain extent. I mean, yes. For again, the problem with making stuff here. So again, the problem with tariffs as a whole, with our current economic issues, is the reason that we needed to go. The reason so many companies needed to go and get things from other countries where they can make things for cheaper is because we live in a end stage capitalist environment where companies are not paying people cost of living enough to survive. So the only way that they could make it possible for people to buy things is to bring things in from places that could make it cheaper because it costs too much to make things here. That's just a fact. As much as great as the idea of making more things here is, it doesn't mean anything if no one can afford it. By the way, hi Vonda.
And just a couple things from the other side. Silver said the problem is the orange ones thinks it's still 1980 and before, where the United States was the main player on the global economic scene. It's not alone on that scene anymore. There are options now. Other countries are just not that into the United States anymore. And Aaron said, and the part no one knows about farmers is they buy equipment for specific crops. They can't just switch crops when they own millions in equipment and would have to buy new equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two very good points.
Yep. Yes, for the farmers, that's the huge one. Like for a lot of crops, there are very specified equipment for planting and for harvesting, and you can't just magically start planting something else.
You know, this also goes back to what he was mentioning before, what did they think was going to happen when they lost the landslide and now the generic ballot is up to 14. You had a lot of farmers who had contracts with USAID. You had a lot of farmers who lived off selling their goods to USAID that would then ship them over the world to end world hunger. Well, they got stuck holding the bag. They invested in equipment. They planted their crops. Trump ended that, and they got screwed. And what do you think Republicans, what do you think they were going to do? They went and voted blue 2 weeks ago. These are solid Republican voters. Well, not anymore.
I think if one thing, if we're trying to find any kind of positive in all this craziness, is the fact that they're being so fucking blatantly crazy just out loud in everybody's face. And now it's not as easy for them to hide it from their constituents anymore. Their constituents are actively feeling it. You know, just like I think it was Lisa had mentioned on the other side earlier before we opened up this chat, was that, I believe it was her daughter had moved into a neighborhood who before wasn't really paying attention what was happening with the cubes and stuff, but moved into a neighborhood that's got a higher Hispanic population, has met people and is like, oh my gosh, these are amazing people. Now they're invested in what's going on. And I made the comment earlier, it's because they've no longer become just brown people they talk about on, how they talk about them on TV. Immigrants are stealing our jobs. Immigrants are here illegally. Immigrants are doing all this stuff. They become just your neighbors. They become people who have families and cook dinner and fuss and fight and mow their grass and go to the grocery stores and all those things. I don't think people, if you get past your racism and your hatred for a minute, you're not thinking about how many places are going to be affected. Like in Charlotte, I'm speaking in North Carolina because like WRAL has been doing a lot of reporting on it. They've been showing the videos that people have been sending in of what's been happening on the streets. they've been doing like letting you email questions, and they've been answering questions. They've been showing what's been happening in Charlotte and Raleigh. They're showing all the festivals that are happening. And one of the things, it's like that's important, because the fact that we've I live in a market, thankfully, that I actually get to see it on TV multiple times a day throughout the day. But also they're human beings, and just because they have a slight accent when they speak, or they may not completely speak the language completely, I think it's wonderful. I've loved talking to people with accents. I love to talk to different people and learn about different experiences and things like that. And I hope that continues to happen.
I mean, we talk to people with Jersey accents all the time, and it's great.
Who has a Jersey accent? I've heard people have a Jersey. I do not have any accent at all.
Scott,
None.
say Vietnam.
Vietnam. That's how it's pronounced. You're mispronouncing it. I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay, do you say wrestling or wrestling?
Wrestling.
Okay, all right.
It's Joyzy.
And I don't say Jersey, I say Jersey. People in North Jersey have an accent, but not me.
Oh.
How do you say oil?
Oil.
Okay. We said say concrete or cement.
Concrete, cement.
I was wondering if he was going to say cement.
Now, how do you say A-U-N-T?
It depends,
Yeah.
honestly.
I say ant.
See, up north, we said aunt. Down here, a lot of times we say aunt. But then, too, it depends, like, those are your aunties. Like, those might not necessarily be related to you.
I call different people aunt or aunt based on their name and which flows better.
Oh, it's pork roll. Come on, Kat. Gotta be pork roll, not Taylor ham.
Ew, that just fucking gross.
That's a big debate in New Jersey. Trust me, that's the debate. We have very little else to talk about in New Jersey, except whether it's pork roll or Taylor ham.
Ah, yes, Denise, bubbler. It's Massachusetts. It's a bubbler. That's what I grew up with.
What do you call soda, Mike? You're from Massachusetts. Let's see if you talk the way the rest of them do.
In chat, on the other side, what do you guys call soda?
Probably Coke.
No, most people from Massachusetts call it tonic.
No, I've never heard that.
You want a tonic? Oh, God, I've heard a million New Englanders call it that.
I've never.
Look, WRAL just reported that Border Patrol plans to end their stuff in Charlotte
That was fast.
very soon.
When I tell you, I have never, like, we thought people came out on No King's Day. That was nothing compared to the response that the people of Charlotte have had to CPB coming in here. Holy moly. A sad day for Democrats. All right. Goodbye, Endo.
Yeah, we haven't had too many sad days lately. How you doing? How's it all working out for you? You're one of the 8 MAGAs left on the Trump-tanic. How's it working out for you?
Like,
Wait, you just said the Trump-tanic?
yeah,
the Trump-tanic. That's what I call it. They've hit the iceberg. They're going down by the head, and they only have lifeboats for half of the MAGAs. And then the ones who get the lifeboats will all be billionaires.
Did you see Aaron Parnas' recent post? How recent? I mean, I've been live for 2 hours now, so, and he posts like every 5 minutes practically.
Trump-tanic.
It's the Trump-tanic. That's what I've been calling it. We've hit the iceberg. We're going down by the head.
And they don't have any fucking life vests at all.
I'll tell you what, Trumpers, don't think Rose is going to let you on that platform either. You're going to stay in the ocean and freeze.
They coated all the damn life vests, all the life rafts in gold, and they sank. You ain't got shit. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna back up for a minute. I'm gonna try to act like I'm an adult.
Some videos of Charlotte have broke my heart. Yeah. Well, like I said, there's a reason that they're so when I say that Charlotte and probably Raleigh too, and a lot of other cities are paying attention, they have paid attention to what CPB and the Cubes and all them did in Chicago and in Portland. So once they were here, schools said, if they start coming into our campuses, we are going to go all distance. We're just going to go all distance. We're not even going to question it. We're just doing it. Businesses were like, I don't want my customers to have to worry about it. So if they were smaller businesses, they just shut down. Bigger grocery stores and stuff did things like took away delivery fees for online purchases. So people didn't have to worry. Other nonprofits were getting literally mass amounts of supplies donated to them and were delivering food and supplies to people that were too nervous to go out. And anytime they tried to do anything, it was not good. Like there are days where I'm frustrated being in the South in general compared to what I'm used to, but dang, did Charlotte come out for this. I'm very proud of my city.
Well, to repeat again, what did they think was going to happen? Charlotte, Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland, the tariffs, the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to the ACA, the cuts to SNAP benefits. What did they think was going to happen? People wouldn't notice? They actually thought people wouldn't notice? They thought this is what people wanted? Jackbooted thugs in the streets? They thought that's what they wanted? Even MAGA didn't like it. That's why so many rural voters and so many working class whites flipped blue in the last election from just a year before. What did they think was gonna happen?
When will the files be released? So if he hasn't, from the moment he signs it in the bill, it's written, they have a month to release. You want to know how to get ICE out of your city? Yep, push them out. They're not welcome. Question is how redacted the files will be. Well, then that's different. I mean, that's a different question. We won't know until they release them.
Look, our intrepid Attorney General has 30 days to comply. If I was to guess on my bingo card, that the next card they are going to play is going to be, it's under investigation, so we can't release the files. That's my guess, but we'll see.
Ernie trying to compare the police to CPB or the Cubes is hilarious. So no comparison whatsoever. One group is doing things illegally and unconstitutionally, and the other are there to, at least supposedly there to serve the people. Not all, obviously, police departments do a great job of that, but I don't think the files will ever be released. Something has to be released. It's literally a law. Something has to be released. Will they be released to our satisfaction? Probably not, knowing this administration. But something has to be released. And again, there are provisions in there to protect for a lot of things, like everything they redact and take out, they have to report as to why. Like, they can't just redact it. There's actually wordage in there that requires them to say, this is why we are taking all of this information out. And if too much gets taken out, three of the congressmen who are Republicans have already said that they will go on the House floor and read.
And also, not only that, just remember, y'all, there's not just one copy of all these files. I mean, it's 2025. With everything being digital, please don't think that all of this stuff is in one place. It would be something different if it was all just handwritten. I totally get it. But with it all being digital, it's crazy to think that all the information is in one place. Exactly, Rosa.
How do you force out the cubes anywhere? I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of people pay attention to what Charlotte did. I think that's going to be, you're going to see a lot of other cities pay attention. Again, we're learning. This is all new to us. I mean, obviously, there are other countries at other times that have dealt it, but this is 2025. Things just work differently. But cities are learning, and things will, and Charlotte is a good example of how these cities that are being targeted can protect their communities. Is it going to be perfect? No, nothing's perfect. But thought elections have consequences. Of course, elections have consequences. What does that have to do with anything?
You know, something I saw, and then it was like I saw it, and then when I tried to go back to it, it was already gone. But it was like a video of a lady, and like it was like some moms, like some YT ladies. They were like standing at the bus stop, like so that way parents, Latino and Hispanic parents, didn't have to come out to get their kids. They were offering to like help walk them home and stuff like that. So the parents wouldn't have to come to the bus stops. Even stuff like that is a way you can help your community.
Pie Guy, I know you can't talk anymore, but I'm still going to say it. Did any of you get over it when Biden won? Did any of you get over it when Biden won? No. You complained. You whined. You tried to friggin' overthrow an election. So don't pretend, don't give me this get over it BS. They still whine. They do still whine.
Not only that, Biden didn't come in and just start trying to run rampant on over the top of the damn Constitution and all the laws of this country.
That too. You like wine? Daily stress. I'm sorry, Jose. I can't imagine what minorities in this country, the kind of stress and fear that y'all are going through on a daily basis.
You know what? I can't wait for this next election. And we get to see these numbers. And I hope that we get to have a conversation and hear Scott's breakdown of the way everything swung from previous and all these. I'm just really curious to see. I'm speaking that into existence. But
yeah, what we're seeing exactly, Keir, what we're seeing now is not only the movement, which we've gone over a million times, of Latino voters and Gen Z back into the Democratic fold, wiping out all the gains the Republicans had made, and then some. They're at their highest levels of support we've seen in Latino voters and Gen Z. But the real key here is that we see the cracks in MAGA. Anytime you get 50% of the vote or close to 50% of the vote in rural counties in Virginia for the Democrats, that's an earthquake. They went 3-1 for Trump. 1 year later, 50-50. Same with working class voters. One in 2024, 2-1 for Trump. In 2025, 50-50. And the biggest issue in front of the American people, even bigger than ICE or anything else, the 5-alarm fire is healthcare and affordability. Now, who said that? Chuck Schumer? No, it wasn't him. Hakeem Jeffries? No, it wasn't him. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene said that. The right-wing town hall asked what type of human being Donald Trump is after he attacked Massey for getting remarried. That's what they said. Mike McCormick, go ahead.
I was say, Timmy, Virginia has not always been blue, and so that's first off wrong. And number two, what party does the current governor and lieutenant governor align with?
They're both Republicans. And secondly, I was talking about people who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 who voted Democratic in 2025. Rural Virginia went 75% for Donald Trump in 2024. 1 year later, close to 50-50. In New Jersey, working class voters went 2-1 for Donald Trump. So they voted Republican in 2024. In 2025, 50-50. Those are the numbers. They're real. That's what happened.
By the way, anyone that's over here on, I know we'll do the ad a little bit later, but just for everyone over here, just so you know, every day, every weekday, I go live over on the tube at the same time, but I also go live 30 minutes earlier over there than I do over here. So if you like what we talk about, make sure you follow over there, hit the little notification bell, and that way you get informed when I go live, or you can join the Discord, which you also get informed when I go live everywhere. I also put out 2 episodes a week as well as other stuff, but always 2 podcast episodes specifically every week. And the one I put out today is really good. The ones in the last month or 2 just have been really good, and you really should check them all out because they've all been just really good.
And by the way, for that person, is Florida a red enough state for you? Let's hear what the from the Florida GOP, and I'll give you a name, Anthony Sabatini had to say about the elections. He has never seen an administration crash and burn so quickly. Anthony Sabatini, look him up, Florida GOP. That's what he said. Not me, him.
So here's my thing on Fetterman, and I'm saying this as someone who I want to point out, I don't like Fetterman. He wasn't what I thought that he was going to be. I think he's technically still better than Oz. I'd rather have Fetterman than Oz, and anyone who says differently isn't paying attention to what's going on right now with what he's doing. But he just, in the end, he turned out to be the epitome of a centrist. He is a centrist, full stop. He is all about almost status quoing things. He believes that people, I believe that he believes in terms of humanity what Democrats believe, but in terms of how the government runs, he is very, very centrist. Very centrist. And I think that's just coming out. And he may have gotten more centrist after the stroke. I don't know. That could easily have done something to how he sees the world. I mean, these kind of events do change how you see things. So yeah, I think Fetterman is not the kind of leader that we need long term, but he's better than Oz.
Fetterman is a man who is undergoing, by his own admission, rather severe physical and mental disabilities at the current time. I don't paint him as a centrist or anything else. He's just a very confused soul who barely shows up to work anymore. He doesn't show up on the Senate floor. He should, frankly, for his own sake and for the sake of the people who elected him, he should resign.
Jose, I just want to, you're right, Jose. It shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't have to worry about going to work and all the other things. That is, you have every right to be mad, sad, and heartbroken. Again, it's just, there's nothing more anti what America, at least what a lot of us believe America, or were taught what America was supposed to be about. There's nothing less American than what is going on. Obviously, if you're talking what American people or the American government or people that look like me tended to be, yeah, this is pretty status quo for a lot of people that look like me. But in terms of what we were taught America was supposed to be about, this is definitely, and the direction we were heading, at least slowly, it's definitely shouldn't be that way.
Well, if the last election 2 weeks ago is any indication, and the release of the Marist generic ballot, which is the highest Democratic lead since 1974, that's 52 years ago, largest lead by any party heading into the midterms. In 52 years, we're swinging back pretty hard and very, very quickly. Quite frankly, I've been looking at this stuff for many decades, and I've never seen movement this far, this fast, which is an indication of just what a train wreck this administration has been. And
Jules,
as Kia pointed out, people are noticing.
Jules, you don't care about legal or not. If you aren't pissed off, then you don't care about legal or not. If you're not pissed off right now, then you don't actually care about legal or not. Because the people that are doing what the Cubes are doing and CPB and all them don't care about legal or not. And if you actually cared about legal or not, then you would be pissed right now. And Goose, grow up. You're 5 years old. You're a child. When you become an adult, then maybe you can have a conversation again.
And when you sit here and you start talking about people being legal or not, you can't be here. You don't get the privilege of being in this space with decent human beings.
There were jobs that were added in September, which is pretty common when do borders matter. You don't care about borders. Most of the people that care don't care about borders. They don't even know about borders. They don't interact with anyone that has anything to do with the border. So don't pretend that you care about borders. Most of this country, 99% of this country, has no idea. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, let me ask you a question. You care about borders. Do you care about due process also?
Scott, if you wouldn't have, I was just about to.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you care about borders. I'll take you at your word. Do you care about due process as well? I'm interested to find out. Either under the 14th or 4th Amendment. Do you care about due process?
I do for legal systems. That doesn't matter. Then you don't care about due process. If you make that kind of caveat, then you don't actually care about due process because you don't actually understand what the purpose of due process is.
Due process, let me educate him, Mike. Due process under the 14th and 5th Amendment is for all people within the United States, regardless of their status. You obviously are unaware of that, but that doesn't stop you from making inane, moronic comments. It is for all people. Read the Constitution before you make statements like that.
And let's talk about quick why it's for all people. Without due process, people who don't like you can detain you, deport you, without giving you the ability to prove whether or not you are here, whether you're a citizen, whether you're here legally, any of that. If due process is not available to all people, then none of us are actually protected.
Oh, there's a neat comment. Why didn't we say anything when Bill Clinton passed the law getting rid of due process? Bill Clinton doesn't pass laws. Congress passes laws. But the president signs laws. Secondly, he did nothing to get rid of due process. That's impossible to get rid of. It's in the Constitution, you idiot.
Due process looks different for different things, but the whole point, there's a reason that these agencies up until this point have had to get warrants to arrest people, because that's supposed to be part of due process. They need to prove that the person they are going after is worthy of being of arresting and deporting. That's why we have this.
I think for me, that's one of the craziest thing about this whole stuff with the cubes and all this and that is, if you're just trying to get the people who already have committed crimes and stuff, then that means that you have information on them. That means you don't have to roll up to courtrooms or schools or on the streets and the gas stations and just start knocking on people's doors, making people pulling over random cars. Shouldn't you have that information? If you're only going after the people who already have criminal background.
Well, again, I mean, it was shown already in Charlotte. Out of the 200-300 people that they detained, only 44 were still went any farther, weren't released. 44 out of over 200 to 300. There's literally stories of people that were just getting, they yelled at them, or they were following them and they busted down their window and dragged them out of their car, even though they're US citizens. Oh my gosh, Brandon, grow up. He did not do the same thing.
He's already gone.
Gosh, you guys are all 5 years old.
Bill Clinton passed a law doing away with due process. How do you even answer a comment like that? Now I've got a headache. Jesus Christ.
And again, when anyone that says that nobody cared when any president did something, and again, regardless of whether you think what Obama did was the same, which it wasn't the same. I mean, there's already been plenty of conversations about how it wasn't the same. But Obama was sued for how he chose to do his immigration. It just was found that it was legal. Again, regardless of, this is the problem that I think people don't seem to get. There's a difference between accepting, understanding, being legal, being unconstitutional. Like, there were plenty of people that did not like the way Obama did some of the things that he did, and he was brought to court for them.
Just hasn't been taken to court 400 something times.
Yeah.
In a few months.
Okay, want me to do the commercial? We're almost done.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. I learned that Bill Clinton did away with the Constitution. Isn't that interesting? Okay, and that's thanks to your host, Mike. who always has interesting conversations here, but that's not what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to look up at Mike's name. Now go right to the right of Mike's name, which is in your upper left-hand corner, and you're going to see a little orange heart. Please tap on that orange heart. And you all know what's going to happen. A big old giant box is going to come right down on your screen, and on the right-hand side of that box will be 6 small rectangular boxes. Some will be blank. Some, however, are going to be shaded in black. Please tap on those black boxes. That way your content creator, Mike, gets points. And he deserves it. Believe me, he deserves that and a big bottle of scotch after today's live. He deserves those points. But guess what? You get the same amount of points. This is your red letter lucky day. Everybody gets points. You get points. He gets points. Everybody wins. So please tap on that orange heart. And while we're at it, we've been talking an awful lot about the Tube of You. And there's 2 reasons to go over there, folks. First and foremost is for the content. It's for you. It's tremendous content. Mike always has interesting guests. They're informative. They know what they're talking about. They're entertaining. And most importantly, they're interesting. And so is your host. And what does that lead to? That leads to one hell of a fun watch. You'll enjoy every minute of it. And if you haven't tried one of them, here's the deal. Just try one. I guarantee you you'll be back for more. And there's a second reason. We don't know what's going to happen here on TikTok. There's all sorts of rumors floating around. We're all aware of who the new board of directors presumably will be, and that's not a very good thing. So we all should become more familiar with using the Tube of You. And there's some advantages to that, folks. First and foremost, the graphics are so much better than they are here on the talk. Secondly, the conversation is great over there. And why is the conversation so great? Because you don't have to speak like a child. You can say what you want to say. You don't get filtered. You don't have to use code words. In other words, you don't have to speak like it's some sort of 1984 Orwellian double speak that you have to use here on TikTok. Imagine being able to say exactly what you want to say. Well, that's what you get to do over on the Tube of You. So please, folks, just spend a few minutes over there familiarizing yourself with it. I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I was thinking of something else. Oh, I just want to say, Jimmy, you're right. Actually, you're wrong. The Supreme Court interprets the Constitution. They don't technically decide what's constitutional. They interpret a thing going on and decide whether they think it's constitutional. Just like we have the ability to decide what we think is constitutional. They just have the ability to have a government enforce it after they have their interpretations. But it's all interpretations.
Can I also say too, words are important. Words in the Constitution matter. When those sections that say citizens, that means it's for citizens. If it says people or persons, then that means that's everybody. Just keep that in mind when you're reading through it.
Yep. And again, part 1 of my of the episode I did with Attorney Di, if you don't know her, check her out, came out today. We go through all 27 grievances of the Declaration of Independence and compare them to what's going on right now, or what's gone down under this current president, and show. Yeah, it was enlightening. Let's put it that way. It's very enlightening. So that we would go through about half of them in this episode, and then on Tuesday, the second part will come out where we'll go through the other half. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you follow, subscribe, hit the bells so you get alerted when new stuff comes out and when we go live.
And it's free to sub over on the Tube. Keep that in mind. It's free. Free 99.
Free. These days, as Scott will say, you can't get a better deal than that. And pretty much everything that I post over here, I post over there too. So you wouldn't be missing like shorts and I do extra long form content. So it's both over there.
And by the way, just to add one more thing, to take Clara's job, because Clara is always the one who brings this up. The community, they've got a nice little community over there on the tube, and they interact with each other a lot too. So that's an extra added bonus. You're not just interacting with Mike, you're interacting with each other, and that can be a whole lot of fun. So give it a try is all we're asking. Become familiar with it, because we just don't know what's going to happen to TikTok. There's so many rumors floating out there. Anybody who thinks they know what's going to happen is probably mistaken. None of us really know. So let's all prepare for that.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah. All right, guys. Hi Sharda. Sorry, we're just getting off. Yeah, so just so you guys know how Fridays are going to work, because there's just too much going on for us to not talk some. So the first half of the live is going to be talking about what's going on in the world, and then the second half will be not talking politics anymore. So Fridays there's going to be like a half and half day, so we can get our talk out on what's going on, and then just talk about other things. Name on the tube is the exact same.
We can talk about the final season of Stranger Things coming.
You could, yeah.
That's right, folks. The kids are now nearing Social Security age, but the final season of Stranger Things comes, I think, on the 26th.
Yeah, it's coming soon. That's I know my family's excited about it. I wasn't able to get into it.
I have to catch up. So
I'm
going to have to start all over from the beginning, because it's been a couple years.
Well, yeah, it's been about 500 years. I think the Mayflower was landing the last season that Stranger Things was on. But I'm rewatching season 4 now because I forget everything that happened.
I like the idea of talking on political things. Yeah. I'll have to find out when I'm going to make it, but Wednesday of next week, I'll probably only be going live on the tube, and I'll be making a pie, because we do apple pie breakfast on Thanksgiving morning. We should game. I'm down to game. Most people don't seem to be into watching the gaming, so I just haven't. It's a lot of extra work and mental capacity to be streaming and gaming. So
I know you're getting off, but what about your sourdough bread? You can do that too?
Yeah, I need to get my starter working again. It took a long break in the fridge. So yes, the plan is to get that going again and doing it too. Yep.
Okay, sorry for disturbing. I know you're trying to get off.
No, you're fine. I'm not in that much of a rush. I just know other people are also like, everyone's just used to being done around this time. So you unalived your starter after 5 years.
Well, I hope you guys have a great day. One of the ladies that I watch on here with her egg collecting videos, so she had taken like a 6-month break from baking, and now she bakes, and she does all these different, like she did a jalapeno cheddar sourdough. She does an everything bagel seasoning. Oh gosh. Sorry.
No, we heard the cat.
Yes. She jumped from the bed to my shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah. Luckily I clipped the claws, but yeah, I wouldn't probably eat either of those flavors, because when I do eat cheese, I don't like cheddar. Cheddar just tastes very cheesy to me. But damn, that bread in that loaf bag with that clear plastic top, all fresh out the oven.
Cheddar in a jalapeno cheddar isn't as strong as if you were just eating it by itself, and you usually use a very mild cheddar, because like the stronger cheddars, like the aged cheddars, are too oily, and it would destroy the bread.
You know what? I take that back. I do eat them in the cheddar. Is it cheddar? Whatever from Red Lobster, was it Cheddar Bay?
Yeah, they're Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yes, those are delicious. Oh,
Yup. But yes. So so that's what I'll probably end up doing a lot of different lives like this week. And also, just so you know, if you haven't put it on your calendar, December 22nd, it's going to at minimum be a birthday live. Hopefully it'll be a celebration live. There is a possibility that I will be monetized faster because of how fast I have grown the channel over the last 3 months. But it's in the process right now, and I don't know if it will if we'll know by then. But we'll see. December 22nd. Yep.
do you know what that means, y'all? Please go to the tube, watch some episodes. It's not all politics stuff. It's not. Like, actually, my two favorite episodes are not both non-political. Go watch the vids. You can listen to it while you're driving. It's not like you have to actively watch it. You could just listen while you're driving. That's a good way to knock out some view time. And I just put my phone in the console and I let it play. So he gets all the credit and everything, and you still get to listen to it.
I actually
So
think
see,
some of the best episodes I have are the ones that aren't political. Like, talk with someone who is a musician about how she writes music and what it was like going through, you know, giving birth and all of that stuff, and being a mom and trying to balance a lot of things that, you know, the stuff that was going on through that. Talk with someone about addiction, talk with someone about relationships, talk about you know, my challenges with things like Christianity. We talk with someone who's a small business owner and makes a mushroom infused whiskey. Talk with a good friend of mine who talks about what it was like when their daughter came out, told her she was transgender. There's a lot of cool, and we talk with some really cool people that are running for office. And there's some more on the docket to talk to. There's just a lot of talk about online communities. There's some really good ones out there, and it's I would love to do this, keep doing this for as long as I'm able. We live in a world that does not push the content of the people that do what I do as much, because I'm not willing to go to where other people are willing to go. So I really could use your help. I really could use your help.
and just to let you guys know, those of you that are in my Discord, I told him from now on, I want him to go ahead and start sharing the episodes there. So if you guys have access to something like that where you can help promote and share, that's really helpful, and it's free for us to do that. I know I can't really financially support, but that's free. Just watching the videos, engaging. Thanks, like you guys I've been watching like the thumbs up every day. It's like more and more consistently. Thank you guys for all the engagement. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, love watching you guys, loving my brother, watching you send the gifts, watch how you guys, it's amazing to see. And it was great to get to promote you last night. That
Yeah.
was really cool.
And sharing my content with people that you know, like, that's probably the biggest thing, because algorithms are going to be kind of wishy-washy with my stuff. They'll share it, but it won't be as huge. You guys sharing with people that you know that might be interested, even if it's just one of the episodes, you never know what could keep them around. But if you know people that would like anything, it really does help. So thank you guys for being up here and hanging out with me. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the gifts. You guys rock so much. Thank you for the likes over on the tube. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love y'all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. Goodbye, YouTube. You guys rock. Love you.